My name is Ryan Sprague. When I was 12 years old, my father and I stared up into the night skies, and we saw something extraordinary staring back. And whatever it was sent me on a search to find answers to the UFO phenomenon and beyond. And that search continues somewhere in the skies. Coming to you from SpectreVision Radio, the Somewhere in the Skies podcast features conversations, interviews, and roundtable discussions with scientists, scholars, historians, pop culture figures, and prominent UFO researchers. We also hear directly from you, the listeners, about your personal UFO sightings and encounters. Lastly, we bring you fascinating and engaging case histories. Each week is something different and truly unique. Somewhere in the Skies doesn't seek to just entertain. We seek the truth. We bring new questions and theories to the table. We bring new voices to the discussion. And we attempt to possibly find some answers to those mysteries that lay somewhere in the skies. New episodes are every Monday through SpectreVision Radio on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
No one goes to Hank's for his spreadsheets. They go for a darn good pizza. Lately, though, the shop's been quiet, so Hank decides to bring back the $1 slice. He asks Copilot in Microsoft Excel to look at his sales and costs and help him see if he can afford it. Copilot shows Hank where the money's going and which little extras make the dollar slice work. Now Hank has a line out the door. Hank makes the pizza, Copilot handles the spreadsheets. Learn more at m365copilot.com/work.
SpectreVision Radio.
Telemetry and launch condition.
Well, some other observers.
Hey, it's late night.
It's late night on the astral plane, where it's never too late. With your host, Ryan Singer.
It's more fun to believe.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to and or watching another voyage on Late Night on the Astral Plane. This is your buddy Ryan Singer. I'm excited today because I got some hometown flavor. My old stomping grounds area. We've got a really cool story and interesting, and it's kind of unfolding. It's in the early stages, still unfolding. I've got AJ with me. We're going to talk, and Nick will be joining us soon. And I talked about this on the episode previously because after AJ and I spoke that and decided that we were going to get on the show. So I talked about this a little bit on the last episode about this really compelling photo. And is it Sasquatch? Is it Bigfoot in the photo? That's for you to make up your own opinion about that, I suppose. But I'll tell you what, it's pretty damn cool photo. And the more I look at it, the more I like it. And the more I love it. So AJ, thanks for joining me here today.
Yeah, it's been great already.
Yeah, I got to tell you, so this is how I came to see the photo initially. I've got a buddy of mine who's he lives in Dayton. He's kind of a skeptical guy, right? Over the years, we've been friends for years and years and years. He's like a filmmaker, but he also has a job there in Dayton. He does some stuff and works out the base. And he's scientifically minded, skeptical, but loves, and his skepticism has been cracking slowly but surely over the last 2 decades. And I've known him. He loves Bigfoot stuff, loves UFOs, aliens, ghost stuff, and he tagged me in this photo on Facebook. And I'm never on Facebook anymore. So I see that he's tagged me in a photo, like a Bigfoot photo. I was like, oh, okay, I got to see this. And then I see your photo and I read the description, which we were talking about before we started recording. Most people on the internet don't read. And it is nothing short of maddening, right?
Yeah. You could say that's just, to say the least. Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, and it's like
Um,
you're asking so many questions that have already been answered, or you're saying
oh yeah.
things that have been that are in direct contradiction to what I've written about this photo. Um, so this is from Caesar's Creek, and if anybody's in Southern Ohio in that area, you know what Caesar's Creek is. And if my memory serves me correctly, it's kind of like a gravel pit lake, kind of a beach situation that's kind of created. It's like a state park recreational area where, especially when you're young, it's really fun to go, especially when it's obviously when it's warm out, because they got a little like beach there for everybody. That you can go canoeing out there down like some rivers and stuff like that. But it's there's a ton of water there. It's very nature rich in that area of Ohio. There is I think a pretty rich history as well of
Mhm.
Sasquatch sightings, especially when you start getting into eastern Ohio. We're talking Hocking Hills, Athens, all that. You're getting into West Virginia, you're getting into Mothman territory, all that kind of stuff. This is like really cool area. There's been a ton of Bigfoot and Sasquatch reports in the last 6 months in Ohio itself, all the way up from Cleveland down south. So there seems to be something happening in Ohio with Bigfoot. A friend of mine messaged me like, I think he's just tired of hiding. He's exhausted and he just doesn't have it in him anymore to play hide and seek. And he's over it, right? So walk me through the day before the photos were even taken, if you don't mind.
So it actually started on Sunday. Um, Both my husband and I, we tend to go out to the Young Road boat ramp out around Caesar's Creek. And we decided, the kids were with grandma that night. We loaded up our two dogs, and we went ahead and took a little evening drive and decided we were going to go out there. There's no light pollution out there, so you can really see the stars. And if you know anything about my husband and I, we love star watching and the planets and all that. So we decided we're going to go out there, and we're just going to kind of check out the sky and let the boys out, maybe walk around. And that's exactly what we did. So we got out there, and pretty instantly after we put the car in park, I started smelling a pretty foul smell. And my husband started complaining pretty instantly that his stomach was sick. And of course, I actually blamed it on the dogs, the smell on the dogs. And, after about 10, 15 minutes, we, after getting out of the car and walking the dogs around a little bit, I go ahead and I get both of our dogs back in the car because my husband was fighting back what he felt like he was going to get sick. He was fighting back vomit. Wow. So he starts to kind of take a little stroll down the path that was directly in front of us. And I assumed he was just taking a stroll down there, just fighting off nausea. And while he was down there, I heard 4 footsteps outside of the car, and it made me look up and out. And I didn't see anything out the window. So I just kind of went back to what I was doing. And then all of a sudden it sounded like someone shut the door on the porta potty that is in that area. And I mean, it was maybe 10 or 15 feet in front of us, the porta potty was. And it, again, caught my attention. I look up, still nothing. Well, at that point, my husband starts to return to the car. And I asked him if he was feeling okay. And he said that he was starting to feel better, but not the greatest. And he proceeded then to tell me that the reason he walked into the down the path a little bit was because he heard what he thought were like dogs in the woods making some whining, whimpering sounds, or kind of like he referred to it as like kind of like a pack of hounds. We brushed it off, got in the car, and we went on home. That was, not a big deal. We kind of ignored it. Well, then Tuesday comes around and my husband decides that he's, I'm working. He was off. He decided that he was going to go back out to the boat ramp. Cause they've got 4 different entrances to the woods there, plenty of hiking, which he has hiked multiple times, really beautiful views. So, he gets out and he starts going hiking, just his normal thing that he does on his days off. And I don't know, about 45 minutes into his hike, or something, he calls me and, tells me that, he was completely panicked, was, very shaken and, just looked like he had seen a ghost. And and it was on video call. And of course, I instantly noticed something's not okay. And I asked him, what's going on? And he said, you wouldn't believe what just happened to me. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, as soon as I started hitting the trails, he said, I felt something following me. He said, I could hear sticks snapping. I could hear, the leaves crunching, and walking, following behind him. And I, kind of was like, I assumed it was just maybe somebody. And I said that. I said, who was it? And he said, it wasn't who. He said, there was no car in the parking lot when I pulled in. And he said, and I'm not kidding. He said, it pushed me all the way down the side of the water line and the tree line. And he said, and it just kept going on and on. And he said, and I felt these eyes on me. I felt I was being watched. And he said, at that time, he said, I immediately stopped in my tracks, and whatever it was that was following me stopped as well. He said, I then turned around real quickly. He said, there was nothing behind me. He said, but then as I was turning back around, I caught 3 creatures. He said they had like the longish hair. He said they were trying to blend behind the brush and the trees. He said their skin looked brown, dirty, like was dirty. And he said, and it almost had like this moss tone on this, to it in a sense. And he said, but they weren't. He said 2 of them weren't too big. One was about shorter than I am, shorter than he is, and he's about 5'11". He said the other one was about 5'5" ish, 5'4". And then he said in the last one, he said that he could see it bobbing its head kind of between the trees. He said was about 6'4", 6'5". And of course I asked him, I said, what do you think it was? And he told me, he said, I don't know, but it was a creature of some kind. And I said, well, like, what did you do? And he said, well, I immediately was scared. He said, I was kind of in a panic. He said, so I picked up the biggest tree, like log branch that I could. And he said, and I felt the need to just like hit it on stuff to startle whatever this creature was away from me. And he then followed it up with, and I asked him, I said, were they aggressive? And he said, no. He said they were observing me, and they were observing me observe them. And I asked him several times, are you sure it wasn't a shadow? And he said, I know for sure it wasn't a shadow. He said it was moving through the trees. It was making sure that it could keep its eyes on me, but they were making sure they could keep their eyes on me, but that I couldn't see their faces enough to confirm what it was. I asked him, I said, well, how did you get back to the car? And he said, I kind of walked around the tree line and up and out, keeping my eyes on it. And he said, and I just continued to talk very loudly to myself. I was trying to talk myself, down, and just to get to the car. He said, but I wanted to make my presence known to it, that I was still present. He said they didn't move. He didn't watch them move, but he made his way out and around them and back to the car. So that was pretty much the encounter that he had, the Sunday night, and then that happening on the Tuesday, the 26th. But, he did tell me that the entire encounter lasted about 20 minutes, from the second he started hearing something following him to the second that he was trying to exit and make his way around and back out. But he made it very clear that he didn't feel threatened, but he said that it was extremely, it was intimidating and unsettling.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, it's really interesting here. I mean, for lots of reasons. There's a lot of, greatest hits when it comes to, potential Sasquatch in the direct area that people have been reporting for a long time.
Yes.
And, is that Nick right there?
Oh,
yeah, here he is.
Hi, sorry.
What's up, Nick?
Tinkering with stuff. Hi, how are you?
Doing great. Hey, buddy, thanks for joining the show and being willing to talk about this and share your experience. I basically just got kind of the Sunday and the Tuesday rundown about what happened, and I mean, there's some real hallmark hits there as far as like the nausea, the stink, the smell, the eyes are watching me. And even the whimpering noises of like a pack of hounds.
Right.
These are
Right.
all like, these are widely reported Bigfoot activity when people have had encounters, and
Of course.
it's really cool too, because um, what's interesting is, and I hope you don't mind me talking about this, but like the unsettling feeling you had when
Right.
you're by yourself in the woods, it's daytime, but still, right?
Absolutely.
And I think this is one of the things that people who, I guess I've had an unsettling experience that kind of really messed me up for a long time. And I don't mind talking about it when it comes to, like, just getting the absolute shit scared out of me. And
Right.
I'm curious um, what your experience has been in the woods previous to this, whatever was happening.
Previous to this,
Yeah.
nothing out of the ordinary, really. Like I would go out to the Young Road boat ramp, as Ashley just mentioned earlier, and I'd make random fires sometimes. I would just watch all the fish. I would hike. I would just basically do random mindless, like just hobby stuff out there. And never once have I heard, saw, even thought, considered to watch my back if I was out there alone for any reason, because it
Yeah.
was just so desolate and so remote out there at that time that I had no second thought to watch my back. But
Yeah.
little did the universe have in store for me that I knew that day. Oh my gosh. Blindsided.
I mean, the universe is
Unexpected.
what a trickster the universe can be. It is.
Indeed.
Yeah, I mean, because I think this is important too. This is you weren't going out squatching
No,
or
not at all.
bigfooting or whatever. And so this is kind of what, a spontaneous experience, an encounter that kind of happened to someone who, when they weren't expecting it, didn't, weren't
Correct.
seeking it out, weren't looking for, which typically seem to be the most profound ones. From all the
Bigfoot wasn't
people I've
even in our
talked to.
vocabulary previous to this.
Okay,
Not
so you
really,
weren't going to
no.
like the Ohio Bigfoot conference in the past, and like bumper
Nope,
stickers
never
and
even knew.
magnets on the fridge, and you're
No.
not
Oh my gosh, no, nothing of the sort.
I thought that they only existed like in Washington or California.
Like the West Coast.
Yeah, I never.
Maybe up in like Montana, Wyoming area,
Yeah.
something like that.
Never ever did we ever think that Ohio and Bigfoot were
synonymous.
I mean, Ohio's weird, don't get me wrong.
Oh, definitely.
We're weird. I mean, when 96.5 The Rock aired spoke about our story on this past Wednesday, and they hashtagged it as Stay Weird Ohio, that was fitting. That was very fitting. But I didn't think it was Bigfoot weird. I didn't think we were weird enough for Bigfoot.
Yeah, I mean, Ohio's got like a really legendary haunted history and things like that. I think
Right.
most people think of haunted Ohio more than they think of,
Yes.
cryptid Ohio. But
Absolutely.
but you're not too far from the the Loveland Frogman.
Right.
And my girlfriend and I were actually last summer did a trip down there. And stayed in Loveland for a couple of days and just kind of like explored around, seeing if there was any chance we could get a glimpse of the legendary Frogman. But anyway, what's interesting too is it's like these unexpected experiences, right? And it's kind of like a paradigm shift for lots of people when it comes to the way they view not only their immediate surroundings and reality, but the bigger picture of life and what it means to be a part of a huge mysterious thing. So I'm curious when it comes to the unfolding, because it's been pretty chaotic for you guys the last few days, for sure.
Yeah,
definitely.
I'm curious about, because you said Bigfoot wasn't in the vocabulary, so
No,
not really.
But being people who like to go out into nature and things like that, you're obviously not just city folk who had no idea that the woods held secrets, or you know what I mean?
Right.
I don't feel like you're on that side of the spectrum either. So
no, we weren't like wilderness ignorant people by any means.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
I mean, I thought there was possibility of, it's in Waynesville. Caesar's Creek's in Waynesville. Waynesville is one of the most haunted villages, I guess, in Ohio. So ghosts or something that
like supernatural stuff. Yeah, we could like
ghosts,
swing that, but Bigfoot, that was like out of clear
Yeah.
left blue field for us.
Yeah. And even after the picture that that I got, we actually ended up going back out again on Saturday with a couple guys. And one of the guys there, Brandon, we thought we heard some wood knocks. Turned out to be, we did, we're not like those kinds of people that once you see Bigfoot, you think everything is Bigfoot. We ended up, working through it and figuring out that it was gunshots in the distance.
Yeah.
But before we discovered it was the gunshots, he pulled out his phone and started snapping pictures. And this is a picture we actually haven't talked about, haven't posted yet. But we did have some people running through AI. We had some people really look into it. Some people that
Same people that ran our picture, in fact.
Yeah. And today we did get a hit back from a couple of those guys stating that it did turn out to be, pretty legit like mine. And that's something I will definitely share with you, send it to you. But it does appear that we did somehow manage, Brandon did somehow manage to get another picture of what looks like the same as mine, just a bit further at a distance.
And like crouching down on them.
Yeah.
Wow. So when was the original photo? When was this one taken?
That was on Thursday.
Wednesday.
Okay.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
It was Wednesday.
It was Wednesday. It had Wednesday, same day that I posted it.
Yeah.
It was Wednesday.
Okay.
I think it was the 27th. Yeah.
So just for people listening, I want to make sure I got the timeline right. So you go out Sunday.
Yeah.
You start to feel nauseous, Nick.
Yeah.
You go into the woods. You come back out. You kind of called it a day.
Yeah.
Right? Without doing anything. So then, Nick, you're off work on Tuesday. You go back out there. You're feeling watched. It's about a 25 minute experience all told. You see 3 creatures, 2 shorter, 1 taller than you, kind of peering at you through the woods, through the trees. It's unsettling. You get back to your car after doing a video call with AJ. And then you go out the next day to maybe snap some photos. Is that where this photo came from?
It was me, Ashley,
and
a few friends of ours who were interested in learning more about my experience and where it took place and everything along that line. Well, that particular day that we all rendezvoused at the Young Road boat ramp, I take the individuals back to where my encounter occurred. And this whole ordeal was probably like maybe 2.5, 3 hours long.
From start to finish.
Like us getting there and then them departing, us departing, what have you. But I go out there and I show them like the exact spot where I saw these 3 Bigfoot creatures at. And we get back to the parking lot area that's located like just beyond the trails there. And the woman that we were with, she tells my wife, after observing my wife just randomly facing the wood line there in the parking lot and snapping random placed pictures just to try to capture possibly anything that was around us. But the woman who was with us stated, no, don't do that. Don't do that. They see that coming a mile away. Turn your camera around and take selfies over your shoulder and you're more likely to capture something. Well, lo and behold, that's how Ashley captured her image.
Now, granted, the reason I was snapping those pictures was because one of the guys that, and they weren't friends until now, they actually commented on my original post that didn't have the picture, and wanted to go out and meet up with us then. But one of the guys and myself had heard a really, really loud, like snap, crack sound. And we were like, you know what? Let's just start taking some pictures. It doesn't hurt. So we started just snapping pictures, and there it was. And immediately after snapping a series of pictures, we were like, well, let's zoom in and see if we see anything. And I think it was like the 3rd or 4th picture into my camera reel, and there it was. So we decided we were going to attempt to debunk it, but we just couldn't. We couldn't debunk it. It was
blatant and obvious as day present.
I mean, that's a great instinct too, right off the bat. I mean,
yeah.
I want to talk more about that. We're going to do a quick little break. We're going to be right back.
Okay.
I just want to remind people that if they don't want to hear commercials during the podcast, you can go to patreon.com /Ryan Singer, $3 a month. It's less than It's less than half of what I pay for my Starbucks coffee. I'm shamefully admitting that. My Trenta iced coffee with heavy whipping cream has cost me $6. So you can do that over at the Patreon. We're going to be right back. We're talking about, I mean, what I believe to be, a very clear photo of a Bigfoot taken at Caesar's Creek. AJ and Nick are going to be back with me right after this, so don't go anywhere. Okay, we're back. And I want to talk about what you just said, which was great instincts for people who aren't squatchers. And that's, we tried to debunk it. And, I live on the side of belief, right? When it comes to a lot of this stuff. And, I think it's more fun to believe. That's like a motto I live by. Now, but it is important when we have these experiences, I think, and especially if there's any chance that we want to share them with friends and family or people close to us, let alone the world through social media and things like that, where the judgment comes raining in like hail. It's crazy. But trying to debunk and trying to find other things that it could have been. And I think the hardcore skeptics and the haters in the world, what they forget about people who are experiencers or people who capture evidence is they think they're asking a question to you for the first time. Like, well, how do you know it wasn't that? It's like, what they don't realize is the experiencer, the people who capture the evidence, they've asked these questions 1,000 times to themselves already. And they think they're like asking it for the first time. And it's actually kind of cute and funny when they think they do it. But so to walk me through how you tried to debunk it. I think people might be curious.
So I very much evidence. I want like, if I can't see it, if I can't feel it, if I can't, if I can't touch it and see it and smell it, then to me, I'm like,
That's reconfirmed.
Yeah, I have to, I'm the same way. Everything I have to be like, okay, well, I want the evidence supporting that. So as soon as the lady that was there and I and one of the gentlemen, as soon as we noticed it on in the picture, our immediate first response, it wasn't, oh my gosh, there's Bigfoot. It was, what could that be? We need to rule it out. Is it a shadow? Is it a tree branch? Is it a tree trunk? What is it? So we immediately walk over to the area and we start sizing it up. We start looking at, is it on a hill, which it was on a slight hill,
downward slope hill,
but not like a hill.
Not like a ravine.
No. So, we started looking at what's in the background of that. We started taking closer pictures. We actually took, my phone with that picture and we started holding it up to the tree line to see where it fit in, comparing it to the sign, which is what you see in the right-hand corner. It's actually a sign that's sitting on the entry road to this area, because we were in the parking lot taking a picture of the tree line there.
Right, like doing our best to get an exact side by side of the image we captured next to the image it actually was located.
Yeah. So we looked at the background of it. We looked at excuse me. Yeah. And then we walked back down to where I took the picture. We tried to retake it again. We actually had one of the gentlemen that was with us and the lady that was with us go up there and stand in the exact same spot. And then I took it over my shoulder the exact same way.
Yeah.
We tried it with two different cameras, my phone and another phone. We went about it several different ways, and we probably spent more time trying to debunk it than we did actually taking the pictures and looking at it.
Indeed.
And then it didn't stop there. My husband and I ended up, like I said, we went back out on Saturday as well. Nick and I did, and with a couple others, and we went back to the same spot with the two other gentlemen that were there. One of which is actually a former police officer, and his job was actually to do interrogations and stuff, and to ask questions. And he now works with an advanced AI platform, and he ran everything through that as well. And then he came out there and he did the same thing, took pictures. The other gentleman, Brandon, that did get a picture, what we believe is a picture anyway, he came back out, he went out there with us as well. And even after my picture and his picture, he's still skeptical about it. And I got to say, I believe what I got is evidence of Bigfoot, but I can't help it in the back of my mind sit here and go, well, I wonder if there's another way I could debunk it.
Yeah.
So we have tried on a couple different occasions with a combined total of 5 different people other than ourselves to try to debunk it, and we can't. I mean, there's tons of smashed, debris and plants and everything right in that area, and the height difference between 2 of the people that tried to stage that exact same picture. Between all of them, we're guesstimating that picture of Bigfoot is probably around the 8-foot mark, possibly a little taller. But I mean, I don't know. We've done everything we can to try and prove that it's not Bigfoot. Right. But everything just keeps coming right back around and pointing to it being evidence of Bigfoot.
Yeah, and some of those photos were on the Facebook, I believe, and I'll try to show some of that here for people who might be watching. But the potentially, if that's possible, I'm looking at the photo, and I've spent a lot of time looking at it, and it's every once in a while you get a photo that you just enjoy pondering, and
yeah,
especially the unexpected nature of it, and it's pretty cool that there's another photo from a couple days later.
Yes.
And
I need to send you that one too.
And it starts to make me wonder. It starts to make me wonder if this pod, or if maybe it's the same one, or one from the same group or pod, as they can be called. If they're like, it's like they're ready for their close-up almost, it feels like, to a certain degree. If they're just making themselves available for multiple photos over the course of a few days. For example, there's a place I go to in Florida since 2019 to do regular investigations, and we're certain that Sasquatch is there. And we've never captured any of them on camera in any way, shape, or form, but we know that they're there. And yet here we are in just the course of a few days getting multiple photos. It's pretty rare, and it typically it would speak to the energy of a person. I'm not trying to get all woo woo, but I'm a woo woo wild one over here, so you'll have to forgive me. It always goes woo woo with me. It speaks to the energy of a person when it comes to, or people, when it comes to, I don't know. It's like, I feel like you might be the people, like, oh, when you show up at someone's house, they're like, oh, my cat loves you. It doesn't like people. Yeah. It's like, oh, and Bigfoot loves you guys. It doesn't usually like me. You know what I mean?
What's funny is that's the same thing we said. I said that to Nick the other day. I said, maybe they showed themselves to you because you go out there so frequently, and it picked up on your energy, and they learned your routine that you do out there, and they know that you're not there to cause harm. He doesn't litter. He picks up trash around that area.
Very green, conscientious.
Yeah. And we're not religious, but we are spiritual people. So, when it comes to just meditation, or, when he does a lot of he loves the chakra work, and just kind of becoming, one with nature. And I wonder if maybe they haven't witnessed him, just being one with nature, and maybe that's why they showed themselves to him. I am not one that goes as deep in the woods as he does. Wilderness for me is great, and I do enjoy being out in it, but I like air conditioning and my indoors a little bit more.
Plumbing.
He's the opposite.
Oh my God.
Yeah. He's the opposite. He loves being in the woods, and I don't know if maybe they did pick up on his energy.
Speaking of being in the woods, I just wanted to circle back to something within the frame of the timeline and the way things played out, and just further state my evidence and my firm belief that what I saw that day on Tuesday was indeed 3 Sasquatch creatures.
Okay.
So Tuesday I had the experience, right? Well, Wednesday, when we all rendezvoused up with the couple and the other individual, and Ashley caught her image. Well, the very next day, Thursday, I went back by myself to kind of just further investigate myself and just actually lock eyes and look in on the exact spot that I saw all three of them standing and watching and observing me from. Well, I go back there to the exact location and I confirm, yes, there's a big, tall, slender tree in the middle, and there's a fair amount of growth and shrubs and what have you on either side of it. Well, I go back in there and it's literally like a woodland style, like living area.
I forgot about that.
Like there's
like
logs
a den.
and like a den, exactly. There are thick, big, long logs purposefully like holding like growth of branches and twigs and whatnot, like wrapped around the logs to further camouflage that exact location and that area from being seen by anybody. And the Thursday when I was there, I noticed, oh my gosh, this is like a obvious and intended den area. I mean, there was even a freaking like a 12-foot long sitting log in the like off to the side of in this area. Well, Saturday when I go back with our friend Brandon and the other gentleman who was interested in my experience and where it took place and what have you, we all go back to the exact location again. But I went there Friday as well. I'm sorry, Thursday and Friday. Yeah. Thursday, I further looked in on the location myself. Friday, I looked there and no one, I can't make this shit up, people. There was all kinds of like fallen trees and like honeysuckle bushes and just random dead things that had been pulled all through the whole living center of the den area, like to disguise it again almost. Like it had been obviously tampered with to make it look invisible, like nothing at all. Well, then Saturday, when I go back with Brandon and the other gentleman, it's completely cleared out again. And the exact location that I saw the shortest of the Bigfoot creature standing, no one's going to fucking believe me on this, but there was a small, like a navel orange size yellow rubber ball that was dropped almost seemingly right there in that exact location. The smallest of them was standing. Like, well, that was mind blowing to me because it was not there. It was not there upon investigating on Thursday or Friday
or Wednesday when we were out there with all the
or Wednesday when I showed the three individuals initially.
That's really
where
cool,
it all went down at.
As you can tell, he's been this experience has made him obsessed every day after work, and we were just there earlier. He was just there earlier today.
I was.
Again, it's been but yeah, other than no encounter happened though on Thursday or Friday, other than him witnessing that area. But for that ball to show up and it wasn't there, and then
completely unexplained.
Yeah,
completely unexplained.
And it's off the trail. Like you take the trail out to it, but then you have to go into the woods.
It's literally off the beaten path of the trails down there.
Yeah.
Well, that's really cool. I'm curious, and I don't expect. I think I know the answer to this question already because you're living in the moment of it all. I'm wondering if you got any like photos of the ball or of the den itself.
I think so.
I personally do not, but I think Brandon or the other individual that was with us at the time may have photographed and documented that as well. Because I'm not like evidence document mindset yet, you know.
He leaves his phone in the car majority of the time that he goes hiking.
I do, because I don't like to be disturbed by the technology when I'm just out there getting my zen on.
He doesn't do Facebook, TikTok. He doesn't do any of that stuff at all. So his phone is like calling and texting.
The kind I can be out there, the better.
Yeah. I mean, I totally get it, Nick. I mean, you were talking about chakras earlier. I've got my sapphire on for my throat chakra when I record and when I'm talking. I'm lined up with you on that. I love that.
Oh my gosh, dude, I'm like all decked out here. I got on the left wrist, on the right wrist.
Oh yeah, what do you got there? Lapis lazuli? What is that?
No, this guy right here is blue flower jade.
Okay.
It's like supposed to help with luck and prosperity and whatnot. And then this little dude right here was pyrite. That helps with keen intellect. And then this one is ocean jasper. This one is, I believe it's rainbow moonstone from the Himalayan mountains.
Oh,
And then
wow.
this one was sunstone or sandstone or something. But the ocean jasper and this one I actually got in Florida. But there's a point. I've also got these doodads that I wear around my neck like
Oh,
daily.
okay. Oh, yeah, I love that.
Very much in tune
Is
with
that
that. So,
citrine?
yeah.
Was that
definitely.
big one a citrine pendant?
No, actually, that is
Let's see.
Golden Healer Archimer Diamond.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Golden Healer Archimer Diamond.
Okay. I love this. I love it. My crystals were getting charged up on that full moon a couple nights ago. The
Yeah.
Indeed.
I remember it's kind of like, gone the way of the, dodo now, but during the pandemic, my cousins and we started a crystal identification app. Because
that
for
sounds
years I couldn't remember what my crystals were, and I was like, I need a Shazam for my crystals, and so we made it. But
Right.
with AI and everything now, it's pretty much obsolete. But no, that's pretty cool. I think that we can't understate a connection to nature and to energy when it comes to connections with Sasquatch and encounters. And
Correct.
I want
This is
to
just
talk
my
a
firm
little bit about that. Or what was that?
This is just my firm belief, but I believe that because Bigfoot are like human intellect capacity near enough and just under evolved from us Homo sapien humans enough, I firmly believe that they, like most animals, can see spiritual energy when it is present in front of them with their eyes, visually, and what have you.
Kind of like
Possibly, yeah.
aura readers.
That's just
Yeah.
my belief.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, let's
Yep.
let's take our last break here, and we're gonna come right back. This is fun. I mean, this is a lot wilder than just we were driving down the road and we saw a large bipedal creature by a sign,
Correct.
and that was it. So we're gonna be right back with Nick and AJ. We're talking about Caesar's Creek, the Ceasar Creek Squatch, or I'm not sure if you've come up with a name for them yet, but
No, that sounds great.
But we're going to be right back after this last commercial break. And just a reminder, no commercials over at the Patreon for $3 a month. We'll be right back. Okay, we're back. And so what we've got here is we've got a den. We've got a gift or a toy left by I'm making leaps here. I'm making assumptions here and, kind of color commentary here. But the ball left behind is a gift to someone they know will return, and that is you, Nick. They know that you're coming back, and they're leaving you. And even though they clear the area, they're like, hey, we might be gone, or we might not be here, but we're not gone. Here's a gift from one of the shorter ones, one of the smaller ones who's a kid or juvenile, probably still likes to maybe more playful, right? We've got multiple photos. We've got multiple experiences. We've got noises. We've got, it's the evidence is starting to pile up. And the circumstantial evidence on top of it is starting to also pile up. And I'm curious if you've got an instinct or an intuition about, do you think that they live there, they're passing through, they're just visiting? Or do you have any kind of intuition or instinct about who they might be?
I think that they are along the Little Miami, because there's been a lot of people who have been saying that they've seen them, down in the Fort Ancient area. But then
stopping ground.
Yeah, and there was a woman who commented on my post. Who had stated that the same night, that Tuesday night after my husband's encounter, she said that around 8:30 that night, and Nick had his encounter between 6:30 and 7:30 that evening. The woman stated that her backyard backs up to that exact wood line that Nick had his encounter at. And she said that around 8:30 that night, she heard the coyotes that they were just completely going crazy, more than normal. And she said so much so that she and her son actually went and checked, out back to see what was going on. And she didn't really see anything, but she said it was just way more noise than she's heard. And she kind of thought, maybe that was why. Maybe the coyotes were reacting to Bigfoot, or the pack that there was. But it was just kind of ironic that, an hour after my husband encounters, three of them, that all of a sudden she would have an abnormal, commotion from all the coyotes and stuff, right in her backyard, which just so happens to back up to where Nick's encounter took place. So I don't know if maybe I think it is a stomping ground, but I also think that all the attention that it's, been getting this last week, I'm starting to wonder if maybe they're not making
on and moving out.
Then maybe moving along. And maybe that's why they left the ball for him. And I also thought, maybe they had been watching him for a while and they knew that they were getting ready to move out. And maybe they decided to kind of show themselves to him in a way of saying, like, see you later type thing.
Right. Speaking of them moving out and the whole reference to the yellow child's ball that I found being placed there for me, supposedly, plausibly, Thursday, when I had returned, and I kind of acknowledged that they were there and that the ball may have possibly been a gift for me. So I had a pretty large chunk of clear crystal quartz geode that I had just carrying around in my backpack. And I took this giant clear crystal quartz geode and I just kind of nonchalantly over my head, just kind of lobbed it into the woods just beyond the tree line to leave as a gift for them, because I obviously on my way out I felt them, a couple at least, I will confirm, were watching me as I was making my way out from down by the lake up to the parking lot. I didn't see them, but I could feel the eyes, and I'm more aware of their presence now, so to speak. So I take this big old chunk of chakra geode and I just kind of nonchalantly lob it into the woods just beyond the tree line on Thursday. On Saturday, when I went back and we met with our friend Brandon and the other gentleman, nowhere to be found. Yeah, it was probably like maybe 6, 7, 8 feet just into the wooded area there beyond the tree line from the parking lot. And I probably spent like a good 5, 6, 7 minutes trying to actually look for it, because I visually tracked it as I threw it, saw that it hit a tree limb, and then like dead dropped straight to the ground in roughly X location. Well, I scoured all around, presumed X location beyond the tree line, and I could not find that piece of geode anywhere.
Nowhere to be found.
Another piece of evidence, in my opinion, that just concretes it for me to believe that they're out there, they're watching me, and they know they're not people dumb.
And we may not see them all, but they.
Right, we may not see them all the time or hear them all the time, but they are indeed there.
Yeah. Oh, I'm
They're
seeing
so
that.
sneaky like that.
Yeah, I mean, your instincts to just gift right back are remarkable, considering you've never been a squatcher. I'm seeing that
after the Tuesday thing, we've researched though.
Right.
We did our fair. To be fair, I mean, we did read up on it.
Completely Bigfoot ignorant people.
Not come Wednesday or Thursday, but Tuesday, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, I'm seeing that. I got that other photo from you. Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Cool.
And also I'm looking up right now on bigfootmap.com is an interactive Bigfoot mapping website. And I'm trying to locate Ceasar Creek State Park Campground. Here we go.
It's not the campground.
Oh, you know what?
Look up Young Road
Boat ramp access.
Boat ramp.
So you can drop your experience and you can fill out a report exactly where you saw them or saw them. And so this is like an interactive map for everyone. So right now it looks like there's about 16,650 reports. There's actually 2 fresh reports from the last 2 days that are in New Burlington, which is slightly northeast of Caesars Creek. Let me click on this.
No, New Burlington is actually where it was at. It was the Young Road boat ramp access.
So someone may have already.
Road.
Let's see here. Someone may have already dropped this in. They're giving me there's GPS coordinates. Let's see what the information here is. It was the beginning of turkey season in Ohio, and that night I went out looking for. Wait. Oh, April 5th. This is from April. Someone had an experience very close to this. Because it's from April of this year. April 15th, 2026 is when they are reporting their sighting was.
Oh, wow.
And let's see here. I went out looking for birds to roosting is when you listen for a turkey to gobble around sunset, blah, blah, blah. I stayed out there until sunset and hooted to listen for a gobble. I didn't hear anything, no birds of any sort. I thought it was strange, so I headed out to go home. On my way out, I heard a knock on the opposite side of the hill I was on. I crept up the hill, and when I looked down, I saw a gray, large, caveman-looking figure. It never saw me, I think, and it slowly walked down the hill into the dried-up creek bed. I hurried out of there and haven't been back since. So that was in April, so a couple months ago. So the red dot is where the red dot is where the April report happened. So just tell me where you want me to go on this map, and I'll move us around.
I'm sorry. I'm
No,
getting
don't
all
be
like
sorry.
OCD thorough about it.
I'm trying to
But the
be.
little circular blob shadowed area there.
Let me just see.
That's where my experience was.
And this is the other experience right up here. This little red dot that I'm pointing at. That was just added 2 days ago.
That's so close. Yeah, sorry. That is so close.
Wow. Yeah.
Sorry, folks. I know I got a little animated there, but
there, yeah.
it's exciting after all.
And there's not a lot. I mean, you could boom.
Oh my God, so desolate, so remote.
There's you could go not seen this whole way right through here, through the woods and everything. Okay. Wow, that's wild. You know, that's pretty cool.
That is wild.
That's pretty cool. Let's just zoom out a little bit more and see if there's any other. Oh, there's one up here on 675. That's a little ways away though. That's really cool though. Let me stop sharing this. So we can, let me get back to the,
sorry about that. I know that was like needle in a haystack with a wild goose chase oiled up like a pig.
I mean, I think
we got it done though.
You know, it's like, hey, you know, you were doing remote map scrolling with me.
Right.
That was pretty fun actually.
It was.
And wow. I mean, this has been really cool though. I got to tell you, this has been really cool. This is interesting and fun, and you know, I'm curious. Let's wrap this up because I know it's getting pretty late over there for you guys. You know, I got to let you know, in August, I will be at Go Bananas Comedy Club on the 6th through the 9th of August that weekend. So if you want to come to a show, you got to let me know. And on the Sunday of that week, I'll be doing a live late night on the astral plane. So on the Sunday, I won't be doing traditional. I won't be doing my stand-up. I'll be doing like some kind of live version of this. So potentially, if it works out, depending on scheduling, maybe you'd like to come and, you know, share a little, maybe a more condensed version of the experience as well for everybody, which could be cool. We can be in contact about that later. But
absolutely.
So if you had to like. This is all real fresh, but if you had to pick like maybe one thing that this experience in this last week or so has, like, you know, maybe changed for you, what do you think it would be moving forward? And something that's not just kind of like a, you know, it'll wear off in a couple of days, something like fundamental, if anything.
My view on pretty much everything that's like, I mean, there's so much more to this world than what I thought. I mean, it's pretty outstanding. Yeah. That Bigfoot really exists. I mean, if Bigfoot exists, I mean, it opens my mind up to so many other things that could exist. It's pretty unbelievable.
Indeed. And for me, it was probably like a humbling, enlightening, eye-opening experience mixed with like an awareness of what's actually out there in the wilderness, you know. That's about the best I can say.
Really cool.
Yeah. I mean, it's my view on everything is different. You know, things that I thought maybe they exist. Now it's like
the theoretical ideology of thing is like it was present, but now it's like concrete, broad daylight, confirmed almost.
Yeah, pretty much.
Really cool. Really cool. Well, I appreciate you sharing with me, and
Yeah.
Thanks for sending over that second photo too and finding it on the map for us. This has been really, really cool. Do you want to plug the where on Facebook you had posted the original photo the first time? Do you want to plug the Facebook
Yeah.
page or?
Yeah,
And
sure.
I can link it as well in the show notes for everybody, and you can kind
Yeah,
of
the
follow the
Ohio
journey.
Bigfoot hunters.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool. And yeah, well, what a rad, wild story that
I know. I know.
seems to not even be close to being finished, by the way. So
No.
this will be really, really cool to see, because August is a long way away from now. So who knows what else has happened by the next time, when I'm because I'll be in the Ohio area this summer for a bunch. I'll be for work and traveling and stuff. So definitely got to try to get out to Caesar's Creek.
Yeah. Well, July 10th, we got some guys coming in town from Virginia that have tons of experience in this stuff. Like I said, Nick and I are newborns. But they are actually going to be doing some stealth camping along the Little Miami and Caesar's Creek and all that. They're parking at our house. We're dropping them off. And then they're going to spend a few nights in the woods. And then we'll pick them up. And we're gonna see what the outcome of that is. So hang tight for mid-July.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Well, AJ, Nick, I truly appreciate you taking the time and and talking about all this. It's been a pleasure to chat with you and meet you and get your story. And I look forward to hearing more here in the future. And we'll touch base about August later on. This has been great.
Yeah.
Thanks a bunch.
Thank you. Thank you too.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. Oh, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Now receiving frequency transmission.
Are we, as individuals, part of the universe? Yes, but where do we end and the universe begins? Where does the universe end and we begin? Breaking our bodies down into particles and even smaller light waves. Is the universe conscious? Yes. We are the universe.
Transmission complete. Stay tuned to SpectreVision Radio. Stay.